So.
Okay. Hi, Stephen.
Hi.
Great to see Andy Moore out in the grass there, and finally in the senior squad. What are your hopes for him?
Yeah, well, he's quite versatile, Andy. He's played as a midfield player. I've seen him play as a midfield player for Blackburn. And he's also played recently on the left as well, wide on the left. So he's a versatile player at Brighton. At Brighton, he was nearly a second striker at times. So he's just a good footballer. He's obviously, technically good, and he's done well for Blackburn and done well for the Irish under-21 team. And with uncertainty over a couple of players, we're delighted to bring him in.
Has he a chance of starting?
Of starting? Well, we've 2 games, and we'll see that over the 2 games. I think obviously we called him up for the game against Gibraltar, but unfortunately he picked up an ankle injury in the under-21 international. So certainly we're delighted to have him in.
From your point of view as a former under-21 manager, though, it's a bit like robbing Peter to pay Paul, in a sense, taking him away from important games.
I think from every young player his ambition is to be senior international, to play for the senior international team. That's every young player's dream. And if they get that opportunity, he was denied it obviously against Gibraltar because of the injury. So to be involved in the international, that without doubt is his absolute ambition. And so we'll see how things transpire. But he comes into the squad for the first time.
What about the players that went for scans? Evan Ferguson, Jimmy McGrath, Will Smallbone. Have you any definitive word on them?
And Chidozie Ogbenya. We're just monitoring their situation at the moment. Not all of them are straightforward, and so obviously we reported yesterday, and they were all scanned yesterday. Obviously we have the results of their scans, but it's not just about the scans, but managing the injuries and so forth, and so we'll see how that goes over the next couple of days.
But to lose players, particularly Chio, Evan, Jamie, he was so good the last game.
Well, we'll see. We won't lose them all, but we mightn't have them all. That's the way I see it. But it's we'll know more over the next couple of days regarding them all. Obviously, so we'll have to wait and see.
Go ahead, please.
Just to follow on, Steve, on those players, who would you be most concerned about? You kind of said that maybe they're at different levels. The forwards, are there any that be most concerning to you as regards less of a chance to play this week?
Well, it is early. I know Chidozie is finding it difficult, so we'll have to wait and see in regard to Chidozie, and also Will Smallbone as well. So we'll have to, they're all doubtful. So we'll have to see how they are.
In terms of this week versus the last game of the campaign hasn't gone the way you yourself and the players would have liked. Is there a challenge to kind of keep the mood up? Obviously, they only come in last night. You got them on the training pitch today. How is the mood being?
No, they came in yesterday morning, and the mood was good. We had they were presented with their caps for the international season last night by Niall Quinn last night. So that was a good evening, and trained today. All of the players that trained today was a good training session. We found it beneficial, and it's a great game really. We go to Amsterdam to play Holland in Amsterdam. Terrific game, one that we're really looking forward to. It's a full house at Amsterdam. The players that have not experienced that before going to play Holland away. I think it's already, it's been mentioned, as said probably earlier in the week, but that in Ireland's history, our best away record, our best away result is reportedly, Scotland in 1987. Scotland away. We've gone close with a couple ourselves, and that obviously very close. So this is the objective for the players, is to sort of try and get, the people might doubt the possibility, but the objective is to try and go to Holland and get an extraordinary win out there and make all the players make their mark individually and collectively in Amsterdam. That has to be the objective.
Finally, just on a personal level for you, how is this week? I know you touched on it last week. I don't know what the future holds for you. How are you yourself finding this week?
Oh, I'm fine. I think just we got to, we hadn't got everyone today. Obviously, 7 players involved in games on Sunday. That meant we had to, couldn't train them properly today. So all of the players that trained well. We imparted some of the components of our game plan into today's session, but tomorrow will be the main session, and we want to make sure we're ready. I think the game against Holland at home was in the first half we were absolutely excellent in that game, and probably we're disappointed we weren't 2-0 up at one stage, but obviously Holland showed their obvious class in the first 20 minutes of the second half, showed their quality, but we were very much in the game for the 90 minutes, and it was a very, very tight game. So I think we should look forward to going to Amsterdam. We know that they can qualify if they win, and that's a big incentive for Holland, but we won't lack incentive going there, and it's a great opportunity.
Ashley, please.
Yeah. Stephen, I saw you're at the cup final at the weekend. A record-breaking crowd and great occasion. How do you think that Irish football can now capitalise on that?
That's a big question because that's on many levels. That's a big question because I obviously been lucky enough to be involved in 8 FA Cup finals. So as manager, so I've been involved in Tolka Park. That's when my first 2 finals were in Tolka Park as a manager, and obviously there's such a limited capacity there. So then in the RDS also. So to have it in the Aviva Stadium is where it should be, rightly so, and it's a very special occasion there, and obviously great to see, the level of support the weekend, and fantastic to see that, and but that's not quite the question. Is how can we capitalise on it? So that's a bigger issue, and that's obviously serious investment in the infrastructure of grounds is one of the biggest things. I think investment in academies, investment at all levels of the game really. A lot of academy coaches are still not paid, at a lot of clubs, and I think so that's massive for to have that level of. We've seen it with some of the clubs, how when they've really focused on their academies. St. Pat's an example there at the weekend. They had real benefits from that. From the links with the clubs that they have had, the schoolboy clubs they have had, linking into them, and they've certainly reaped the benefits of that. So a lot of good players coming through there, and definitely. Infrastructure is massive, in terms of stadiums and training facilities. That they are big. They need to be improved because we're nowhere near the levels of other countries.
And can that make it tough as Ireland manager? Can it have a knock-on effect if we don't have that football industry here in Ireland with the facilities and the academy coaches?
Yeah, no, certainly it does, because particularly the impact of Brexit, and as you know, at least 20 players that have come through our own system, through our under 15 system. We've blooded into the international team over the last 3 years to give them their competitive international debut, but a lot of those players went to English clubs when they were 16 and benefited from being in English Premier League, Championship, academy structures from 16, 20 years and 16 and 18 and 19 being full time. That's no longer the case, of course, with not everyone, but not all of them. Liam Scales and Jamie McGrath and players like that had other routes, but majority of them, and so that's a big dilemma now for Irish football going forward, to try and bridge that gap with investment in academies, because it's always been the way from when all the great players went to the club, Manchester United and other clubs in the 50s and 60s and all of the clubs at that stage. So it's always been that way, and we've seen a lot of our players go to even clubs like Norwich and Derby County and Brighton and flourish in their academies. So from Irish schoolboy clubs. So definitely that is a big challenge for all of the Irish clubs here, to try and it's a challenge for the FAI and for the government to provide the infrastructure and the possibilities that exist for players to develop in Ireland in that period.
Yeah,
I see.
No, Gavin,
Just Steve, I'm sorry. In terms of your own personal position and the tricky situation you're in that regard, how have you tried to shut out that outside noise when you get together with the players, whether that's in the training pitch or in the team hotel? Just focus on the training and the games really, and the players are ambitious themselves. They want to experience moments like playing in against Holland and Amsterdam and what goes with that, and the opportunity that exists there. So the players are very determined. Have just been open and honest. People know my contract ends next week and so forth, and so that hasn't altered anything. It's business as usual. We just work hard and focus on preparing well for the two games. When you look at the players who are out, but then you also look at the age profile of the squad, whether it's yourself or someone else who comes in the future, how buoyed are you about what's to come from this group of players in the coming years?
Yeah, I am. I think there's a lot of very talented players there that are really emerging in their club careers as well and doing well, starting to do well this season. We probably had the equivalent 2 years ago. We had the equivalent number of players playing in League One, and now we have players playing in the Premier League, where their careers on an upward trajectory. And all of the players in the squad had the majority. A high percentage of players in the squad, their careers on an upward trajectory, and they're only going to get better, you would feel. So there's good options in most areas, and you feel that there is a lot of growth in the squad for sure, and a lot of potential there.
Gavin?
Yeah, I see him. Just to clarify, is Smallbone out, or is he just...
Not yet. No, not yet. No, we're clarifying. He needs. He's two injuries actually. So he has a foot injury, and he has a heavy challenge that forced him off for the weekend for Southampton. So on his thigh. So he's two injuries, but he's not ruled out yet. No, he's still time. We'll see on that.
Were you conflicted at all about calling up Andrew Moore, just given the 21s of two important qualifiers?
Yeah, we always take that into consideration. That's why we didn't pick him in the squad initially, because we could have had him in just as. But certainly, we're unsure of a few players that we've mentioned. So Andrew gives us some options in a variety of positions. So he, it's his ultimate ambition, obviously, play for the senior international team, and so we'll see how that goes. But he's performed very, very well for Blackburn recently, and he obviously got injured in the under-21s, which halted his progress at Blackburn as well, because he didn't play for a few weeks. But he's done well over the last couple of weeks.
One question on the line, Phil?
Steve, just looking ahead now, you've established a squad now, and a young squad that will get better. Just looking ahead to the next campaign, is it imperative for this team to now create a reputation of being difficult to beat? And is Holland away the perfect opportunity to put in place a formation, especially for away matches, that really showed how this team could be really solid defensively and really hard to beat.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I'm not going to discuss tactically how it's going to be in future campaigns, certainly, but from our point of view, all of the games that we've played against the top teams I spoke about early in the week, I know I said it already early in the week, but you know, whether it be Portugal home and away, Serbia home and away, Scotland home and away, Ukraine away, I would think, and definitely France at home and Holland at home. All of those games have been they're all top teams, really top teams. Centenary game with Belgium, top teams that, you know, they've been fiercely contested games and exceptional games of football. I feel all of those games have been very, very good games of football, and we've come out on the tight margins of some of them. We've drawn some of them. Obviously beat Scotland in that, but so I don't feel we're far away in those games. Do you know what I mean? I don't feel we've been far away, and that's the system we had played served as well in that regard. You know, I think so. But there are different systems we have played, and we haven't played the same system in all of those games. But so I feel, you know, so from my point of view, it's about just improving some of the small details, really, in relation to, you're right, some of the goals we conceded, or you know, or just been more clinical when we get the opportunity to be that, to with the chances that we create.
Okay, we can see a Bible session now.